Quick one then, and welcome back. We are finally going to taste the Droëwors. Now, as you know, in the last video, it was a bit of a fail. So today we are going to see if this is a ven or a mislukkum, a win or a fail.
Meat, oh so sweet, from the head to the feet. Meat, can't be beat, on my plate, can't retreat.
So straight off the bat, we're going to talk about what I could do better next time. Now, firstly, the intestines that were used as casings for the Droëwors was too big. You could see that as they were falling off the grinder there. It should be nice and tight on your funnel for the meat to come out. This is why my Droëwors is a little bit misshaped, and you can see it's a little bit thick in some places, a little bit thin in others. I got some fantastic advice. Thank you so much to those who actually messaged me, contacted me regarding the Droëwors itself. Firstly, what I did is I disconnected one of the fans for the first couple of days. This slows down the airflow and has a more even drying atmosphere for the Droëwors. Secondly, I was told after about 3 days is to put the Droëwors down, flatten it out so the meat kind of fills those casings more evenly. And thirdly is how I grinded the meat itself. Now, it was perfect when we went through the first time, but obviously we made those mistakes and had to grind it again. Now, my South African friend who was nice enough to lend me that grinder has told me that you should never really grind the meat twice. It should be ground once and then put into a special, another special machine where you can put that into the sausage casings itself. Now, how do you know when Droëwors is ready? Just like biltong, you should be drying them for between 5 to 7 days, depending on kind of how thick they are. These have been in obviously a little bit extra because of the thickness. How should your Droëwors feel and look when it's done? So, taking this piece out and giving it a test, your Droëwors should be nice and firm, but flexible. It should be a little bit soft in the middle and obviously dry and a little bit harder on the outside. Should be able to give it a bit of a bend without being able to snap it. The snapping comes when you taste it. And tasting is exactly what I'm going to do now. So excited. Right from the start, we got that lovely dried meaty smell. I was a little bit worried because during the drying process I did smell a lot of vinegar, but luckily that seems to have dissipated now. As you can see there where I have flattened the Droëwors a little bit, we've got a nice kind of even drying atmosphere for the meat there. And here is my girlfriend all the way from South Africa to say hello. Not South Africa, from Abu Dhabi, but she's South African living in Abu Dhabi. Say something.
Hello.
So a common test that people use to see if your Droëwors is done is the bend test. Now if it bends and snaps in half, then it's overdone. But if it bends and snaps just on one side, then that is perfect. Let's give it a go. Whoa. That has done exactly what I hoped it would. So now the biltong box goes away for a little bit until we have another show. The way I'm going to prepare this first is I am going to cut the ends off the Droëwors, and then any bends that you can see, obviously this is from the drying process, I'm just going to cut them in half. And then you have these sticks of Droëwors. Now, of course, as you can see, because the casings were too big, they are quite twisted. But most of these are quite flat and nice. So look at that. Now it's time for the taste test. The inside should be crumbly. There shouldn't be any moisture shine or anything like that. It should be a dark brown throughout. Now this, even though it was a bit of a fail, looks quite perfect. The texture first. Crumbly, meaty, slightly chewy, with that nice crack when you bite into it. I was worried that I used too much vinegar. There's a slight hint of it there, all in all, very, very nice. Could I use less vinegar next time? I think so. I think we turned that fail into a bit of a win. I'm quite happy with it. But of course, it needs to be tested first, so I'm going to give it to some South Africans and see what they think.
Meat can't be beat.
So now it's time to cut and bag up the Droëwors for my friends and the South Africans. Join us next time where I'll be doing something random with meats again. Bye, dankie, ook tot ziens.